Long before modern stadiums, ancient civilizations played primitive versions of football. It was a game of strength, speed, and honor. In ancient China, during the Han Dynasty, a game called Cuju existed. Players kicked a leather ball into small nets. Cuju was used to train soldiers. It required discipline, accuracy, and physical endurance, mimicking the intensity of real battlefield combat. Thousands of miles away, the Greeks played Episkiros. It was a violent, team-based game that often resulted in serious injuries. The Romans later adopted this as Harpastum. It was highly tactical, played on a rectangular field with a small ball. In medieval England, football was chaotic. Entire villages competed, and the goal was to carry the ball to the opponents. These games had no rules. It was raw, brutal, and often lasted for hours, crossing fields, rivers, and narrow streets. By the 14th century, kings began banning football. They feared it distracted men from practicing essential archery and combat skills. Despite these bans, the passion for the game never died. It became a hidden tradition passed down through the generations. In the 19th century, elite British public schools formalized the game. This was the turning point for modern organized football. Each school had different rules. Some allowed carrying the ball, while others insisted on only using the feet to play. The need for a universal standard became clear. Players needed one set of rules to compete fairly against other schools. 1863 was the breakthrough year. The Football Association was formed in London, officially separating football from the sport of rugby. This historical split created the beautiful game we know today. Skill, passing, and footwork replaced the old, violent, chaotic brawls. As the Industrial Revolution spread, workers took football to their factories. It became the working man's most favorite weekend pastime. The game moved beyond Britain. Sailors and traders carried the sport to every continent, planting seeds of global football passion. In South America, locals embraced the sport quickly. They brought their own flair, joy, and rhythmic style to the pitch. By the late 19th century, clubs began forming everywhere. Professionalism was creeping in, and the sport started drawing massive crowds. Teams like Sheffield FC were born. The world was waking up to the power of a simple ball and teamwork. It was no longer just a hobby. It was becoming a national identity, a way for cities to show their dominance. The first international match happened in 1872. Scotland played England in a historic, hard-fought draw that stunned the entire world. Fans realized the potential for global connection. Football was a language that everyone could understand, regardless of their native tongue. Coaches started developing strategies. It wasn't just about running anymore. It was about positions, tactics, and outsmarting the opposing team. The early 20th century saw football grow exponentially. It was spreading through newspapers, radio, and word of mouth across distant borders. But a major conflict loomed over Europe. The First World War paused the momentum, halting the growth of the leagues. Players went to the trenches. Yet, even in the darkest times, stories tell of soldiers playing football in no man's land. This proved the game's resilience. Even amidst the horrors of war, the love for the ball remained a human constant. After the war, the game returned stronger. Clubs rebuilt, and stadiums were packed again with hopeful, cheering, and passionate fans. National leagues flourished in Europe and South America. Every weekend, millions gathered to witness the drama unfold on the pitch. The rise of star players began. Names started to echo through the streets as local legends became regional household icons. FIFA, the world governing body, realized a global tournament was needed. They wanted to crown the best team on earth. The vision of a World Cup took shape. It was an ambitious, massive project that seemed impossible at that time. Uruguay stood out as the host candidate. Their passion for the game and recent Olympic success made them the leaders. Organizing it was a massive logistical challenge. Bringing teams from across the world required courage, money, and huge diplomatic effort. Some countries were skeptical. The long sea voyage was a deterrent, but the lure of glory was ultimately far stronger. The players were pioneers. They were embarking on an adventure that would change sports history for the next 100 years. Arrival in Uruguay was historic. Local fans welcomed the international teams with open arms and immense, genuine national pride, too. The first matches kicked off. The world watched in awe as this global experiment began to exceed all prior expectations. Every match had a unique story. Legends were crafted in mud and grass as the tournament reached the final stage. The final was legendary. Argentina versus Uruguay, the ultimate clash of the giants, played in a brand new, massive stadium. The crowd was deafening. Over 90,000 fans packed the stadium, creating an atmosphere that has never been repeated since. Uruguay triumphed, 4-2. They were officially the first world champions, a legacy they would defend for many years. The world celebrated. A new era of global sport was born, and football stood at the very center of it. However, the second World Cup was approaching. The world was changing, and political tensions were brewing across the European continent. The 1934 tournament in Italy showed how powerful the sport had become. It was now a tool for national pride. Italy won their home tournament. The passion for the game was reaching new levels, and the fans were incredibly intense. Then came 1938. The game faced more political hurdles, but the skill on display was reaching breathtaking new heights daily. War struck again in 1939. This time, the World Cup was put on hold for 12 long, painful, silent years. The world needed football back. People yearned for the excitement, the joy, and the unity that only this sport provides. In 1950, it returned in Brazil. The Maracanã Stadium was built, a monument to the scale of modern football culture. Brazil's loss to Uruguay was shocking. It is still remembered as the greatest tragedy in the country's long sports history. Football proved it was unpredictable. Every game is a fresh start, and any team can fall on any given day. Then came the 50s. A time of tactical innovation, where great managers started shaping the game with scientific precision methods. Hungary's mighty Magyars changed everything. Their movement and passing fluidly dismantled teams across Europe, showing the future of the game. They beat England at Wembley. The British had to rethink their traditional ways, as football was becoming a tactical chess. Legends like Pelé arrived. A young boy from Brazil changed the sport forever. With his unbelievable skill and pure genius, he won 3 World Cups. His name became synonymous with the sport, inspiring millions of children around the entire world. Football was now the global game. It was played on every beach, in every alley, and in every massive stadium. Technology began entering the mix. Slow-motion cameras and television broadcasts brought the game into living rooms across the globe daily. Color TV changed the view. The green grass, the colorful jerseys, and the vibrant crowds became a true visual spectacle. The 80s brought new icons. Diego Maradona arrived, showing individual skill that seemed to defy the very laws of physics. His goal of the century remains a masterpiece. It defined what a single player could do against an entire team. The 90s saw massive growth. Sponsorships, global branding, and elite leagues turned football into the biggest business in the world. The Premier League was born. It transformed the game into a fast, high-intensity, global powerhouse that everyone watches today now. Then came the digital age. Social media, instant highlights, and global fan clubs connected the football world like never before. Every goal now goes viral. The impact of a player's performance is felt by fans in seconds across all continents. We entered the era of Messi and Ronaldo, 2 geniuses who pushed each other to reach levels of performance unseen. Their rivalry spanned over a decade. They scored thousands of goals, broken hundreds of records, and won everything possible together. Football remains the world's most popular sport. It connects people from all walks of life, bringing joy and deep passion. From ancient Cuju to the high-tech stadiums of today, the core of the game has remained remarkably the same always. We honor the pioneers who played in the mud. They built the foundation for the dreams of today's young players. Football is a journey of human spirit. It tells the story of our collective desire to compete, connect, and thrive. What will the future hold? New technologies and innovations will keep pushing this beautiful game to new and exciting heights. The history of football is far from over. New chapters are being written on the pitch every single season today. Thanks for watching this journey. Order now for your custom branding videos and subscribe for more amazing football history content.